Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. I am Monica, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of midnight baking. I am making twice baked potatoes. Now, if you haven't heard of them, they're delicious, and you are not going to want to miss this recipe. And these are a great freezer meal. I know they're technically an appetizer or a side dish, but my husband can put back when it comes to twice baked potatoes. He loves his potatoes, especially these. So I hope you stick around. I will show you how to freeze them or just make them ahead of time if you want to do a couple days in advance. I hope you stick around. It's a delicious recipe. Okay, so we're already off to an excellent start. You want to bake your potatoes, and this has a wonky end that I'm just going to cut off, but you want to bake your potatoes first. So these have been fully baked, and I've just been letting them sit until they cool down enough to handle. I am using Yukon Golds just because we love the Yukon Golds. I'll choose them over a russet any day. But you could, of course, use russets. They're going to be bigger. We have our potatoes baked. And then you want to cook off some bacon, which I had. And then my kids got into. So I'm going to be cooking off a pound of bacon for this sheet of potatoes. There is no limit to the amount of bacon that you can stuff into these, but make sure you just have your bacon already cooked. You can use any type of bowl you want. I'm going to be using a saucepan just because that's what I have here. And then you want a knife and you want a spoon. And what we're going to be doing is you just want to take whatever so there's a big fat end, thin side. Take your thin side. We're going to cut it completely in half. And you want to be careful to not tear the actual skin, but we're going to be scooping out the majority of this insides. And then just put the insides in your bowl. And if you mess up and tear the skin, it's still going to work. But like this, so that's how it should look. It still has a little bit of potato on it, but it's mostly just the skin. So once you get all of your insides out, we're just going to put these on a baking sheet, single layer, and just have them where they're ready to be filled. These are going to get set aside, and we're going to work on the filling. So as far as the filling, you can do this any way you want. You can just make your normal classic mashed potatoes. You can make them a little more decadent, but that's what we're doing, is essentially just making mashed potatoes. Now, if you want to get really bougie and really like impress your guests or husband or wife or whoever you're making these for yourself, then definitely use a hand mixer or a stand mixer and get everything just really blended and fluffy and light, and then pipe the mashed potatoes into our potato skins. I'm just saying, it really is a wow factor. But today we're just doing it by hand because, like all my most recent videos, I already packed my mixer. So we're roughing it. But these are cold, so I'm going to heat them on low, and I mean low. And I'm going to be in the kitchen because I'm cooking other things, so I'm going to be stirring it pretty frequently. But for this amount, I'm putting in a stick of butter, and then I'm telling you, I have to make my mashed potatoes with heavy cream. If I don't, my husband says they aren't made with love. So I always make my mashed potatoes with love, aka heavy whipping cream. So just put in the amount that you think you'll need. You can always add more. It's harder to add less unless you have instant mashed potatoes, and then you can easily fix it if you make your mashed potatoes too runny. Just full of advice tonight. So on low, we haven't added any seasonings to this yet. I just want to heat them up first so that they mix together really well. Okay, So I've been kind of mixing it up now that it is heated through. It's still on the thick side, which is fine. So now we're going to make it really flavorful, and we're going to add in some cream cheese and some garlic powder. Some salt. We're going to go a little light on the salt just because we're going to be adding cheese and bacon as a topping. So we really don't want to over salt the potatoes. And then last is some pepper. Pepper is a must with mashed potatoes. Okay, so we have it mixed up pretty much as good as I'm going to get it doing by hand, which is fine. So give it a taste test. Divine. So now we get to move on to our next step. Okay, so take your potato skins, and all we're doing is filling the skins up. So again, you could do it rustic like I'm gonna do, or you could be more decadent with it and pipe your mashed potatoes into your skins. And if you don't want to go out and buy a piping bag, which I don't, get a Ziploc bag and just cut the corner a little bit, and you can like cut it in an X shape to get the star type piping, or just a little strip, like cut it however you want. But it works great. I use it to decorate my cupcakes all the time. And it's just a Ziploc bag. I have never bought an actual piping bag. Okay, so once you get all of your little potato skins filled, then we can go to the fun stuff. So you can really be creative with how you want to top these. I'm going to go classic and just do some sharp cheddar cheese and bacon bits. I cooked a pound of bacon off, crumbled it, and we're going to put that on top. And then to serve, if people like sour cream, you can serve with a side of sour cream or dollop each one, and it looks really cute. But my husband does not like sour cream. And then this is going to go into a 375-degree oven just until everything is heated and melted and just absolutely delicious. If you were doing this, if you were wanting to freeze these, then I would stop at this point, let them cool down, and then flash freeze them, which just means lay them on a sheet, don't let them be touching, throw them in your freezer, and freeze them for about 1 to 2 hours, just until they're not going to stick together anymore. And then throw them in a Ziploc bag, and then you have easy side dish, appetizer, meal, whatever you want it to be, ready to go. And then just pop it in a 350-degree oven until everything thaws and is cooked through and melty. But the time is going to depend on how big your potatoes are, how much you filled them, and then of course whether they're from frozen state, refrigerated state, or freshly put together state. Okay, so here is the finished product. They are so good. I advise letting them set up for about 5-10 minutes just so they're easier to pick up. But these are so good. Now, quick tip. If you run out of your filling, which I did, those extras, I think I had 10 extras. Those are what you would use for potato skins. So, with the same concept of adding cheese and bacon, sour cream if you want it after it cooks, you do that to the potato skin. So you just add the cheese to it, add your bacon to it, and then bake it until it's all melty. Golden brown, and then you top it however you want with like sour cream or no sour cream, or ranch. You can do that, and it just doesn't have the filling, but still just as delicious. So I hope you enjoyed this easy recipe / freezer meal idea, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching.